All right, so yeah, welcome back, everyone. July 28th, Monday, first day of summer school. Let us start with one moment. Where did I put it? Oh, it's over here. Sorry. Boom. So these are my lessons right now. So session 1, geometry. Today's agenda. We're going to do a minds-on activity, learning goals, success criteria, shapes, isometric and orthographic projections, scale drawings, nets and patterns, today's tasks, and questions at the end. So let's start with learning goals. Oh, 1 second. Sorry, one moment, please. Obviously, well, I was gonna tell you a bit about myself, but one thing I'll tell you right now, I have a toddler at home. He's 2 years old, so he might come in randomly and roar. So I apologize. All right, let's continue. Learning goals. We are going to be making isometric and orthographic drawings of 3D figures. That's something that you will learn. It's a skill. It's not that hard. We're going to create scale drawings using metric and imperial units. Scale drawings, I'll teach you what they are. Metric and imperial units basically have to do with just like metric is, centimeters and meters when you're measuring, and imperial units is when you're measuring in like inches and feet. So kind of like the American system and the Canadian system. And then we're going to solve design problems given certain constraints. So let's get started. Success criteria. We should be able to, if you can do this, then you're successful. Describe different geometric figures, both 2D and 3D. Describe the nets of different 3D figures. All right, we got some two-dimensional shapes here. Some basic stuff: circles, squares, rectangles, octagons, an oval or an ellipse, triangle, pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, rhombus, and trapezium. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I think most of you have seen at some point in your life some of these shapes. If not, the definitions, I believe, are at the bottom there. So heptagon has 7 sides, hexagon has 6 sides, pentagon has 5, triangle has 3 sides, trapezium has 2 parallel sides. I don't see parallelogram, but that's fine. It's not a big deal. Here we have some 3D shapes: prism, pyramid, hemisphere, cylinder, cube, sphere, cone, tetrahedron, and cuboid. It's very important. These are 3D shapes. These are some things that I would expect some students to have some difficulty on, because not every day do we talk about, tetrahedrons and cuboids and whatnot. All right, so let's start. Isometric drawings. What is an isometric drawing? Isometric drawings are a method to represent 3D objects on a 2D plane. The angle between two of the dimensions is 120 degrees. What does that mean? Well, here we have so remember, we have a 3D object, right? And we are trying to draw it on paper, essentially. Paper is a 2D plane, so we just are drawing like a 3D object on paper. Kind of like, I'm not sure if you've ever done this before. When you draw a cube, I don't know if you guys have seen this before. You kind of draw a cube, right? I don't know if you've ever done that before. And that looks like a 3D cube, right? But I clearly did it on a 2D plane. So it looks 3D, but it's on a paper. Okay. So how do we do that? Good question. Very good question. Basically, you kind of like tilt the 2D diagram and draw it coming outwards, like the third dimension, a little bit on an angle. So if you saw how I did it, you would draw kind of like a line coming out. So that would be like the third dimension, and then you would have an angle like that. Sorry, a line like this and a line like this. And you would have to obviously complete the shape. And then if you want to draw like, different shapes coming out further, I should probably delete the first one. Hold on. It's coming in the way. So kind of like that. And there you go. That's a kind of 3D shape. I mean, it's not 100%. Obviously, I probably should maybe try a little bit harder to make it a little bit more nicer looking. But this comes with practice. And to be honest, that's like the majority of math. You just got to practice it and try to keep the lines parallel. That's the best way to do it. So if this line here and this line here, they're not 100% parallel, but if they were parallel, this would look a lot better. So parallel lines, and then just draw it out if you want to draw more. I kind of didn't do the angle 100% right there, but that's fine. Once again, it's a little bit, the angle's off a little bit, but that's fine. So you get the idea, though. It's trial and error. It's practice. You just got to keep trying, and then you'll get better at it. It's like drawing too, right? Like art. So I'm not really testing your amazing artistic abilities. You just got to, try to do your best. It's good to have the dotted paper here, so then easier to line up the dots. And that's important because when it comes to scale later on, which you'll find out, we will be measuring certain points, and they should be to scale. And I'll teach you what that means. And there's dimensions: 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 6, 5, and 2. So it's telling you exactly how long and wide and tall each line is. So, good to know. But that's basically it. An isometric drawing is a 3D drawing of on a 2D plane. All right. Orthographic drawings. These are different. So once again, it's a 3D object. So it's always we're drawing 3D objects using several 2D views of the object. So what does that mean? Well, let's say we have a 3D object, that this is it. And what we do is we split the object into different views. And let's see, we have a top view, we have a front view, and we have a right side. Oh, we got a question already. Oh, okay, you learned. Oh, amazing. Maybe you can help me out because I didn't learn anything. No, good to hear that some of you may have done this in tech class, so this is going to be easier for you. So, top view, front view, right, and then in this case, right side view. These are called orthographic drawings. And let's see if we can figure this one out. Okay, let's see, we got a 3D object here, right? We got the front view. And this is a top view first. Top view. Top view is kind of the easiest, I feel, in my opinion. You're just looking at it from the top down. So what could you see? Well, you would see this rectangle, this rectangle, this rectangle. So I would see maybe like, a square. Oh, sorry, rectangle. It's more rectangle than a square. All right, that's this rectangle here. And then right next to it, we have another rectangle, right? It's a little bit not as wide. Right? 1, 2. Hopefully you guys can see that. I did this one and I did this one. And let's just say this is 1. So this is 1. And let's say this is 2. So this is 2. And let's draw 3. Now 3 is lower, but remember, we're doing 2D, so we can't show depth. We can't show height. So it's going to look as if it's just right next to it. And it's a little bit wider, I think. Looks a little bit wide. Like this. And then it goes the full length. Goes like that. So these are, trying your best. So don't worry if you're not 100%. But that's the top view. Hopefully everyone can see that. 1, 2, 3. All right, so top view, pretty easy. Let's go back and let's see what other views do we need. We need a front view. So let's do the front view now. For front view, we have this. We have this section here. This is the front. We have this section here. This is the front. That's it. We cannot see the top squares. We cannot see the side. We can only see the front. So how do I draw that? Well, pretty straightforward. The front looks like this. It shouldn't be on an angle, just so you know. I'm not doing a really good job. These should be all straight lines. And yeah, kind of like that. That's a little bit better. So that's the blue shaded part here. I'll label it, let's say, 1 in this case again. For the front view, so that's 1, that part. And we'll say 2 is here. And 2 is just a rectangle, you can see. It's just a rectangle, and it's connected right underneath that part. And it's not that wide. And it goes all the way to the end. I would recommend using a ruler. It would make your life easier. And that's 2. So there you go. So that's my front view. Front. And then finally, the side view. Side view. And for side view, you do the exact same thing, except you're not drawing the top or the front. You're just drawing the side. So hopefully you can see that this is the side and this is the side. So this is a little bit, let's see, this is like a little small rectangle here. Oh my gosh, why? I don't know why I'm drawing them on an angle. It's my mouse, actually. It's not very great. Anyways, and then we have the bottom part of the side view, which is a little bit like this. That's probably a little bit wider, but that's fine. And then like this. And like this. Hopefully you guys can see. Let's see if this was 2. 2 is on the bottom. I said this was 1. 1 is on top. That's the side view. So this is how you would draw an orthographic drawing. So 3D object, it's always a 3D object, and then you're drawing separate 2D views. Okay, so let's continue now. And here, top, front, side. All right, more practice, because obviously 1 is not enough. Question for you. Take a moment to see if you can do this. Which of the following orthographic drawings matches the isometric drawing shown below? So isometric drawing is here, this one here. That's the isometric drawing. It's a 3D shape on a 2D plane. And which A, B, C, or D? We're gonna do a poll. See if you guys can do this. Launched it, so it should be available to you, the poll. So is the answer A, B, C, or D? I have no idea, but I'm going to, okay, actually, I don't know how many of you there are. Oh, there's 12 of you. Go. Oh. Okay, fine, let's go. Can't see it.